Hampshire got back to winning ways to move back into the top 4 places of the South Group of the NatWest T20 Blast. Adam Wheater with a career best 78, helping his side to an emphatic 29-run victory over Surrey at the Ageas Bowl. Put in after losing the toss, Hampshire knew that another loss here would severely dent their chances of getting to yet another finals day. James Vince took the responsibility on his young shoulders and took 3 fours off Tom Curran's first over, the second of the match. It was an over to fill him and his team with confidence. His opening partner Michael Carberry faced only 3 balls from the first 3 overs, but when he did at last get on strike, he certainly made the most of it. James Burke hasn't played that many matches in Surrey colours, and he probably has never been treated in this manner. 4 fours came off 4 balls as 36 runs were smashed off the first 23 deliveries of the contest. Hampshire warming to their task right from the off. The next ball was a wide, and then looking for yet another boundary, Carberry cut Burke to Jason Roy at backward point to momentarily quieten what was a very good crowd at the Ageas Bowl. Wheater was in at number 3, a good move as it was to turn out, as the keeper wasted no time at all in going for his shots. Sam Curran now delivered a very expensive over, with Wheater finding the boundary 3 times from 4 deliveries. Hampshire racing up to 60 for 1 at the end of the 6 overs of power play. Wheater was in fantastic form from the off, taking 7 fours off the first 16 balls he faced, which had him into the 30s before a large support had time to catch their breath. Vince, meanwhile, had quickly been overtaken, but he showed his intent by welcoming Gareth Batty into the attack by depositing the Surrey skipper over mid-wicket for the first 6 of the night. This was thrilling batting. The total was on to 88 in only the 9th over when Vince fell for 31, a thick outside edge as he tried to go over the top again off Zafar Ansari, landing into the hands of Tom Curran, who held on well. But that wicket didn't upset Wheater, who drilled Batty through the covers to take the total to 101 for 2 at the halfway stage of the innings. A mammoth total was on the cards from here. But then 3 overs went by without a boundary, although a top-edge single for Wheater took him to the first 50 of the 25-year-old's T20 career. He's not often had the chance to come in so high up the order in his previous 44 knocks in this format. He'd used up only 29 balls, 9 of which had brought him boundaries. The 4 started coming again in the 14th over as Sam Curran continued to go for runs. Wheater and O.A. Shah knew that they had to keep going after the start their side had been given. The true talents of a team is how they react when the chips are down, and Hampshire were responding to a recent horrible run quite brilliantly. Shah is of course an exceptional T20 player, and he showed his worth once again by going long off Azhar Mahmood. Another 6 coming in the next over as well, as Wheater moved on to 78, his partnership with Shah realising 84 runs in only 53 balls. Wheater was a little unlucky to get out when he did. Kumar Sangakkara with an exceptional catch in the deep that not only removed Wheater but also denied him another maximum. He left with the total on 172 for 3 with 15 deliveries of the innings left. Hampshire may have been disappointed then to only get to a final score of 186 from there. Shah fell for 37, miss-hitting a shot off Azhar Mahmood to Roy at mid-off. And then next ball, Will Smith picked out Sam Curran in the deep. Joe Gatting did find the rope in the last over, and the total of 186 for 5 may not have been as many as Hampshire would have hoped to get at one stage of their innings, but it was still a big one for Surrey to try to chase down. The loss of both openers to the first 14 balls of the reply made their task all that more difficult. Tom Curran spliced a shot in Gareth Berg's first over to Vince, who took a simple catch to get the crowd back on their feet soon after the break. Then a bigger roar as Roy chose the wrong shot off Jackson Bird in the next over and was bowled, a wicket which quickly left the visitors on 16 for 2 and in some trouble. So it was left to Sangakkara and Vikram Solanki with a combined age of 76 to get their shovels out and start digging. The former cleared the rope off Yasir Arafat as Surrey responded with a score of 50 for 2 from their 6 overs of power play, and Hampshire would have been happy with that. The home team had given a debut to 18-year-old leg spinner Mason Crane, a young man who has come up through the academy system at the club. What a moment this was for him, bowling to Sangakkara. And things soon got a lot better. Having conceded only 5 runs in his first over in first-team cricket, he then got rid of a man with 592 international appearances in all formats. Sangakkara out for 28, hitting a full toss to a sprawling Gatting in the deep. Smith yet again produced wonderful T20 figures. He trapped Rory Burns in front for the first of his 2 wickets, and that left Surrey on 82 for 4 with 8 overs to go, the required run rate now up to more than 13. Crane then put Solanki in his pocket, Wheater continuing his fine night with a speedy stumping. Although his final over was to prove to be an expensive one, Crane had figures at this stage of 2 for 18 from 3 overs. It was a night he was not going to forget, one being played in front of the biggest crowd at the Bowl for 2 years. Smith's 4 overs cost only 17 runs, and his second of 2 wickets was that of Ansari, who gave Wheater yet more work to do behind the stumps. That was surely that. Surrey now 6 down and needing 94 runs from the final 6 overs of the match. Ben Foakes did ruin Crane's figures a bit with 2 sixes off his last 2 balls, but it was all too little too late for the visitors. Wheater added a second stumping to his cat and his runs to get rid of Foakes for 19 off Danny Briggs. And would you believe it, a third stumping then saw the back of Burke. Briggs the successful bowler again, as Surrey were now left to find 55 runs off the last 2 overs. Good luck with that one. 20 did come off the penultimate over from Yasser Arafat, but that didn't matter one jot. Briggs ending the night with a wicket of Azhar Mahmood for a typically punchy 34. The left-arm spinner taking 3 for 21 from his 4 overs to end an excellent night all round for Hampshire, one they and their supporters have been waiting a little while for. Surrey ended on 157 for 9 to lose by 29 runs. The victory seeing Hampshire back in the top 4 of the South Group with 12 points from 11 games, 3 more to play. The next being at the gorgeous College Ground in Cheltenham, in the heart of the Cotswolds on Tuesday. That's against Gloucestershire.